So like, what made you decide to like almost go down the road of having somebody manage all this shit? Because that's like super different. Where it's you're just like, yo, I handed it all off, and I'm doing the art dad thing.
Oh, like, you know what I mean? Like, he's just like, you got to put your trust into someone. Like, as we talked earlier, a lot of these people that, like, you know what I mean, might be the creative side, might not be best at the business side. And I'm not going to act like I am. I'm not the best at the business side and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like I was in years in the dark about internet and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not like the most knowledgeable guy when it comes to maneuvering on the internet and like technology like that. So like having someone that, and just the fact he believes in me, like, you know what I mean? No one else
Hmm.
like has came to me and just been like, hey, like I like what you doing. Like him telling me, like, you know what I mean? I want to make a Tone Fach album and shit that, like, you know what I mean, that needs to be made. And that alone is just like, you know what I mean? I'm like, when he said that, I'm like, yeah, like me too. You know what I mean? Like, let's see if we could do it. And I think, like, you know what I mean? Like, and he's helped me tremendously on it and shit too. Like, you know what I mean? He's definitely earned that executive producer title on it and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Whether it be like saying like, hey, maybe we should switch it up, like, you know what I mean, do this or do that, like maybe cut this word out so it fits a little better or something like that, you know what I mean, for the hook or something like that. Like he's been a big part of it, like, you know what I mean, like I'm super grateful. Like we wouldn't be here talking if it wasn't for him. So
That's
shout out
definitely
D.
true. Yeah, he definitely it did link us together. I met him like random too, man. He just like hit me up and was like, "You want to review my album?" And I was so new to album reviews that was so. I was like, "You want me to review your album?" Why, yes, you have stroked my ego. That didn't last that long in life, but yeah, the first like two or three people that hit me up, I was like, "Yes!" And then yeah, there's at least one of his tracks that I fucking swear to this day I still play. I don't know, it has like this girl techno-y kind of intro and he just fucking comes in and raps and I'm just like, yo, that was a vibe. And I like it to this fucking day. And yeah, and
Yeah,
then
he's a good artist too, like, you know what I mean, that was the thing too, like I liked what he was doing as far as an artist too. I
I,
just felt we would like mesh good together, even though we're like, you know what I mean, we're not the same, but like, you know what I mean, we have a lot of similar interests, a lot of like, you know what I mean, stuff that I feel like meshes good together.
yeah. And then yeah, he hit me up and he's like, you can interview my dude. And I know he had talked about you in the past. Like I remember him mentioning that he was like putting this together, and then he like followed up with it all this time later. I'm like, yeah, it's like serious. That's like a legitimate follow up. Um,
Oh, hell yeah.
so you're in a band that's going to a festival. You just dropped a rap album. What are your like plans for the next year or so?
Uh, that's a good question. Like, you know what I mean? Just like now, like in the just getting this, like, you know what I mean, getting to this festival after like we're getting back with the band. That's why, like, you know what I mean, we had a year off. Like we didn't really get together COVID because like our bass player stays in New York in Jamestown. So and just with all the COVID stuff and everything, like I said, he has his family and stuff. So we kind of kept our distance during that time and stuff. And now we're getting back together and kind of getting back into the groove of things, working on that. Like, and then I want to, like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to put out at least another, like, 2 music videos and stuff for the album just to try to help promote it and stuff. Like, hopefully do more interviews and just kind of try to get it out there and stuff. For I know nowadays people's attention span is so short, so it's kind of hard to, like, you know what I
I'm
mean.
I'm not convinced about that. People say that to me all the time, but
I'm convinced because my attention span's starting to get short like that too.
that's because we're old people, right? Like, and that's always been the case. You have kids and you're multitasking, but then I found myself doing this crazy fucking shit. I found myself watching long stuff in chunks, and then I
Oh yeah,
noticed everyone's doing that, and then I realized the stats make it sound like everyone has like fucking the shittiest attention spans, and I think to a degree, with the amount of volume of stuff out there, a lot of stuff makes you get encouraged to like flip around. But content on YouTube's getting longer, like longer and longer. And when I look around, I'm like seeing all kinds of love for like really full length projects everywhere when people really like it. Like take Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist and shit like that.
Yeah, you're well, and see, like, and I feel like that's like, you know what I mean? That's that demographic that I would like to hit too. You know what I mean? Because those people, like, you know what I mean? That's our age. I
Yeah,
feel like,
but it's also
and that,
kids. It's just I feel like the way that a lot of content is consumed is changing, but I also think that when people are interested in anything, they will put the time into having an attention span for it. And I think that in a lot of cases, people just often consume content they're not interested in, probably because of silly trends. Like, this is something I think a lot about lately. And I'm like, yo, I know people that would probably just listen to your whole album and fucking just bump it because they really like technique and they like songs that like follow that bar structure and etc. And I'm like, nah, there's whole markets for that. It's just a matter of how do you connect the people who want that as their interest with the things they're actually interested in, rather than the way algorithms use shitty metrics to like do the short attention span thing. So like I think algorithms are a problem in that regard, but people find things that they really really like. I mean, you look at the my biggest case points, and there's two of them I have, is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Makes no fucking sense if people have no attention spans. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, Disney doesn't make sense if people don't have attention spans, right? Like, the other, and people love it because it's, I haven't watched any of the Marvel shit, so I can't attest to it, but I have been told the Wars movies were really fucking great and shit. Like, people love this shit. The other thing I see is Facebook comment fights. I don't know what it is, but that could make 50 motherfuckers sit there with popcorn watching two motherfuckers argue in the comments for 4 hours. So again, like, there is a time and a place for attention spans. And I wonder if it's like, I wonder why people believe that nobody pays attention when there's all these like examples of it out there, you know?
yeah, I mean, but there are examples of the short attention span as well too. You know what I mean? Like, and I see it like I feel like it's more directed towards like the youth, just because a lot of, like, you know what I mean, you look at all these videos and stuff like Vines and TikToks and like all that stuff is like, you know what I mean, real short, because they, like, you know what I mean, they want to give you that content quick and then on to the next thing. It's same with like songs nowadays and stuff. I see it like, you know, a song has to be a real monster song to kind of stick around for months and stuff and have people playing it. Like, people are so on to the next thing and stuff. And I'm only basing this off of what I see on Facebook. You know what I mean? Because I don't have that. Like, I'm not out there in the
I'll
world
give
and
it to you.
stuff.
With the music thing, there's just a lot of music. So sometimes
Yeah,
it's
well,
hard to like pay attention.
yeah, like, you know what I mean, you over flood the market and stuff like with it, and then like a bunch of people are, like, you know what I mean, gonna get swept under the rug or forgot about because there's so much content. Like, it's hard to focus. Like, there's dope rappers I know that are dope that I don't even listen to, just because, like, I feel like, you know what I mean, I'm like, well, like, you haven't sparked my interest that enough to get me into you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I like you. Like, I'll use an example of like Logic. You know what I mean? I know Logic's a dope rapper and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? But I've never really heard a song that made me like, I need to listen to his album.
So
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
but even if you think about the words you used, interesting. So like, like there's something about a lot of music that I find like just doesn't like, it's so amazing, but it won't connect with me in a way that will make me consume the product over and over again. But then I find these songs that for XYZ reason interest me so much, whether it's because it sounds good or I fucking swear it's shit like Man's Not Hot, where it's because, man, my girlfriend gets hot on my behalf and tries to tell me to fucking take clothes off all the time. And so when I heard Not Hot, it was just the perfect song for me. You know, like, it's the dumbest reason sometimes that we fucking fall in love with shit to like chain consume. But back to what you said, interesting. So by like creating the character of Tone Fach almost, or even if it's you and you're just putting it out there like that, right? it creates more interest in you, which makes people want to fuck with your music and support it. And honestly, you just need 1,000 people to give you $5 a month and you're set.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
So like,
well, like, you know, that's why, like, with my album, like, I tried to open up so much too and kind of give like a part of me to it, because I feel like those are the artists that like I grew up with, like, you know what I mean? Like, we talked about Eminem earlier and stuff. Like, you feel like when you grew up listening to Eminem, you knew everything about him. Like, even though you didn't, but like, he put so much of them in the music. Same with DMX, like, you know what I mean? DMX ability to like tell a story and put you like in the same exact place where he was at. Like, you know what I mean? You felt like you were right there with him. Like, the visuals he would paint and stuff, like, you know what I mean? Like, just draw me in. Like, I feel like I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm there.
I love what you're saying because I hear it in your album. Like, I could tell right away that from a style perspective, you're going to have a love-hate reaction with people. You're going to fuck with what you're doing or you're not going to fuck with what you're doing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But if they fuck with what you're doing, I was mad impressed at your versatility of topics. Like, I was, and sound. Like, my favorite one is the guitar one. I don't remember the name of it, but that shit's a fucking bop. I was like, okay. And that was it. Like, I'm in the middle of it, and at first I'm like, it's a lot of rapping stuff. And then that guitar, and I'm like, bro, that's nice. And then by the end of the album, you got like sad shit going on, singers. I'm like, yo, okay, this is like a full on, like, I don't want to say this in a bad way, but like, almost feels like the classic albums had a bit of a check a box feel. We gotta make sure we have this song on it. We gotta make sure we have that song on it. And in the best possible way, I feel like you accomplished that.
I honestly was trying to do that, bro. Like, I'm not like, you know what I mean? I thought about all them albums I liked when I was like, you know what I mean? A song that you could ride to, a song like that's emotional, a song that, like, you know what I mean, is just where I'm just going hard rapping, a song where, like, you know what I mean? I did a song for my girl and stuff, like, just something. I just wanted to have something on the album for everyone and stuff, like, you know what I mean? And just show like my versatility. Like, I appreciate you saying that. Like, that means a lot to me, because I feel like, you know what I mean, that's what I was trying to do, is just put out, like, you know what I mean, everything that I have, like, you know what I mean, I'm just gonna put, like, you know what I mean, that's why I say in the first line of the album, like, bringing everything to the table. This is like Christmas dinner. I'm bringing everything to the table. I'm trying to, like.
You're also like fucking humble on the album. Like, I like that. You're like confident but humble, and that's a fucking good blend in light of the fact that you have such a powerful, lyrically driven project. And I think that there's a lot of people that would appreciate that.